Hi Hawks, Coach Bishop here. I just wanted to send you another video to give you a little review over what we've covered and a preview of some things that we're going to start trying to cover here in the next few weeks. For the upcoming schedule, we will practice on December 15th. That'll be our last practice until January 5th. So you'll have a few weeks off, 2 weeks or so off over the Christmas holiday, and then we'll get back into it. So I thought during that break, hopefully you can watch this video a few times and keep in mind, be reminded of what we've covered. So the first thing I want to go over is, we've assigned position numbers, 1 through 5, and I've given you each a primary position number. So this doesn't mean you're always going to be this number, but most of the time you're going to be this number. So you can Gage and Santi are number 1, Garrick and Hayden are number 2, Arush and Xavier are number 3, Joshua and Nicholas are number 5, and Adam and Cole are number 4. So as you're watching this video, you can kind of pay most attention to your position number and make sure you know what it's doing. It's good to know what all the positions are doing, because sometimes you're going to be playing a different number, but primarily you should know your position number. Also, a lot of the plays that are shown in here, I only show it going to one side, so mostly from 1 over here to 2 and 4 on this side of the court. So 3 and 5 you guys can watch for the same. 3 will do the same thing that 2 does if the ball comes to his side of the court, and 5 will do the same thing that 4 would do, again, if the ball came to this side of the court. Okay, so let's go through our first play just as a review. This is our primary play. It's called Omaha, and it's all based on a give and go. So every time you pass the ball, you cut to the goal. Every time you catch the ball from someone passes it to you and you catch it, you don't start dribbling it around immediately, but you're going to catch the ball, wait, and watch for that guy that just passed it to you to cut to the goal to see if he's open, so that you can pass it right back to him, and hopefully we can get an easy open shot under the goal, or at least close to the goal. So the way this works, in this example, 1 passes the ball to 2. He could just as well pass it to 3, but we're going to go on this side of the court for this example. 1 goes to 2 with the ball, so 1's going to cut to the goal looking for a pass back from 2. 2's going to catch it, hold it, look to see if 1's open. If he can't get the ball to 1, 1's going to exit out, as was shown here, to the opposite side from where he passed it. So he passed the ball to this side of the court. He's going to break to the goal looking for a pass. If he doesn't get it, he exits back out the other side of the court, and 3 and 5 rotate around. Now at this point, 2 can either dribble the ball in and try to see if he can get past his defender and get a shot, or if not, he can pass it back up top to 3. Once he passes the ball back up top, he's going to cut to the goal looking for the pass. 3 catches the ball and doesn't start dribbling right away. He's going to look and watch and see if 2 is open. If 2's open, you make a pass down there. If not, 2's going to cut back out, and 4 is going to pop up, and then we run it all over again. So 3 can either pass to 4 or to 5, and then he's going to cut to the goal. So it just keeps rotating around there. Now, one variation of this is, what if the wing player, instead of passing it back up top, passes it down here to the baseline? So let's show what happens in that instance. So it starts the same way again. In this example, 1 to 2, he cuts through. 2 can't get the ball to 1. So in this example, instead of 2 passing the ball back up to 3, what if he passes it down here to 4? Now we don't want to go down here with the ball a whole lot, so we typically don't want to just dribble the ball or get the ball down here into this corner, because it's a place where we can get trapped more easily. There's no place to go this direction, no place to go this direction without going out of bounds. So this position is kind of limited. So we don't want the ball down there a whole lot. But if he passes it down there, here's what he's going to do. 2's going to follow the ball down. Now he's eventually going to cut to the goal because he passed the ball. But in the instance where you pass it down here to the baseline, before you cut to the goal, you follow the ball and you set a pick on the defender of 4. 4 is going to use that pick and dribble around 2 and see if you can go to the goal and get an open shot. And 2, after setting the pick, is now going to cut to the goal. So if that defender is trying to get past 2 to keep guarding 4, he's going to forget about 2. He's going to come up here and try to pick up 4, and hopefully 2 would be open where 4 can pass the ball to him for an open shot under the goal. So that's what happens if we go to the baseline. Now we've also talked about a variation of Omaha that's called Omaha drop. And the only difference with Omaha drop is that we're going to send 2 cutters to the goal. So once 1 passes the ball to 2 in this example that I'm about to show, he's going to cut to the goal looking for a pass. 3 and 5 are going to rotate around, but then 3's also going to cut to the goal. So we're going to have 2 cutters, and I think that quite often the second cutter, if the first cutter's not open, the second cutter likely will be. So let's see this. So 1 passes it to 2, cuts to the goal looking for a pass. If he can't get it, he's going to exit out to the opposite side. 3 and 5 rotate around, and then we're going to rotate further around one more time. 3 also cuts to the goal looking for a pass, and 2's going to not dribble. He's going to get it and look for 1 to cut and then look for 3 to cut. If 3 also can't get the ball, he's going to exit out to the opposite side, and 5's going to rotate on around. Now at this point, 2 can start dribbling. He can look to drive the ball. He can pass it up to 5 or pass it down to 4. Now we're also going to work on and have a play that's called flat top. So this is, if we were set up as we were for Omaha, 2 and 3 would be up here at the wings, and 4 and 5 would be out where 2 and 3 are currently shown. So for flat top, what we do is 4 and 5 come into by the lane, and 2 and 3 just drop down to the baseline. So we form a straight line along the baseline back here with these players. The number 1 guy with the ball can then try to dribble, penetrate, see if he can get past his defender, get an open shot under here. If 4 or 5's defenders come up to try to help guard against 1, they're going to leave their player open, and 1 can pass the ball off to 4 or 5 to get an open shot, or 2 or 3 might be open out here and can also try to penetrate in around and get an open shot. So this is just going to confuse up the defense a little bit. We may run it a few times and see what we're able to get out of it. The opposite of flat top is we take this exact same alignment and move it up to the free throw line and what we call high top. So flat top, we flatten out along the bottom. High top, we come up high away from the goal at the free throw line. And there's a couple of things that we can do with high top. So if they're playing man-to-man defense against us, the defenders may be up here over guarding against some of these guys, trying to prevent 1 from being able to pass the ball to them. And if that's the case, say if 2's defender is overplaying him here, 2 can recognize that and cut back to the goal back here, and 1 can look for a pass over to him. I think this is going to be pretty effective against a zone as well, and I'll tell you why here in just a minute. So if the defense is playing zone against us, we can run this, and 1's going to pass the ball either to 4 or 2, or if it goes on this side, 5 or 3. So 5 can watch what 4 does if the ball goes to him, and 3 can watch what 2 does if the ball were to come over to the opposite side. So in this example, if 1 passes the ball to 4, one of the inside guys, the person on the side where the ball comes, so in this example 2, if it were passed to 5, it would be 3, but they're going to cut to the goal. So 2 cuts to the goal. Again, if it was passed to 5, 3 would cut to the goal. 4 is going to look for a pass to this 2-man cutting to the goal. Or if nobody's guarding 4, he can drive it on in here and get a shot. If he can't get it to 2, we're just going to rotate around on the outer edge. So 1's going to come down and take the spot where 2 left, 3's going to go up top, and 2's going to take 3's spot. 4 can pass it back up to 3, and then we're ready to run high top again. So let's show one more example of high top. What if the ball, instead of being passed to one of these inside guys, is passed to one of the outside guys? And this is where I think it's really going to be effective against a zone. If 1 passes the ball to 2 in this example, what we're going to do, the guy that's on the same side, the inner guy that's on the same side as the ball, is just going to slide down. So 4 is going to slide down the lane here. And then 5, the opposite side guy, is going to cut across looking for a pass. So what we've got, if you think about a zone, there's going to be one player down here that's going to be responsible for this area. There's going to be another player up here that's going to be guarding 2 more than likely, but there's going to be one player down here that is responsible for this zone, and we've now overloaded that defender's zone with 2 players. So hopefully either 4 or 5, one of them will be open, and 2 can get them the ball for an open shot. If we can't get the ball down there, 2 can look to drive the ball and make a play. Or if he can't do anything with it, 1's going to go and set a screen on the defender for 3. 3's going to pop up and be open up here. 2 can pass the ball back to 3. Now the lower guy is going to cut across the lane. So the opposite side guy cut across the lane here. The lower guy is going to cut back across the lane, and this guy's going to slide back up. So 4 goes there, 5 goes there, and now we're reset again. You can see ready to run high top again. So that's flat top, high top. We're going to learn one more variation of Omaha. It's called pickup. It's real simple. The only difference between regular Omaha and Omaha pickup is that the 4 or 5 guy is going to go up and set a screen on the defender of 1 after he passes the ball. So let me show this happen. So if 1 passes the ball to 2, remember he's going to cut to the goal, but before he cuts to the goal, 4 is going to go up and set a screen on the defender of 1 to help 1 get open going to the goal. So 1's going to use that screen and go to the goal looking for a pass here. Hopefully he'll be open because 4 just screened his guy. But if he's not, somebody else picks him up and 2 can't get him the ball. As the video showed here, 1's going to do the exact same thing, exit out the opposite side from where he came. But then 4 is also going to follow, so it's kind of like Omaha drop, where we're going to have another cutter also. If 4 can't get the ball, he's also not open. He's going to go back to where he started from. 5 and 3 rotate around. And so now it's exactly the same as Omaha was before. 2 can pass the ball up to 3 and cut to the goal, or he can pass it down here to 4. In this example, he passes it back to 3. He's going to cut to the goal looking for a pass. If he doesn't get it, he goes back to the same side that he came from, and 4 rotates up. So that's just a variation on pickup. Now, we've realigned here because 2 cut to the goal and came down here, and 4 rotated up, so now 3 has the ball. So again, in pickup, if 3 were to pass the ball here to 4, now 2 is going to go up and set a pick for 3's man, and 3's going to go to the goal, and then 2 will follow behind, also going to the goal. Same thing if he passed it over here to 5, then 1's going to go up and set a pick. 3 will go to the goal, and then 1 will also go to the goal. So that's pickup, very similar to Omaha. You can see we can get a lot of plays here out of Omaha with Omaha drop, Omaha pickup, going into flat top and high top. We've got a lot of different looks that we can learn, that we can use against defenses without having to really learn much more than a few variations of one play. So let's talk about what we do again if the other team is pressing us. So in the fourth quarter, remember the team can press us full court, so they can defend us full court. In this example, what we're doing is I'm showing here, we're trying to get the ball down the court. This is the goal we're shooting at down here. The other team is going to be defending us full court. So we're going to line up like this. 4 is going to take the ball out. 1's going to be in the middle of the free throw line. 3 is going to be on the same side as the ball at the free throw line. And 2 is going to be on the opposite side from wherever the ball is being taken out on the free throw line. And 5 is going to get back here at half court to go deep. That should at least pull at least one of their defenders back here with 5 so that they don't have as many guys down here defending us. If they don't send a guy with 5 and he's wide open down here, 4 can throw the ball over the top down here to 5 and he can go in for a wide open layup. The way this press break is going to work, if 5's not wide open down here, 3's going to set a screen or a pick on the defender of 1, and 1's going to run out here looking for the pass. Hopefully he'll be open. If 1's not open, well, first off, after 3 sets the screen, he's then going to go long. He's going to run down the opposite side of the court over here to provide us a second guy that's deep that they've got to account for. So this should take at least one more defender out from down here that has to follow this 3 guy. If 4 can't get the ball to 1, 2 is going to have to recognize that and come up here to help. So he'll break in to provide a second option for 4 to pass the ball to. Also, if these guys are covered, 5 can see that and he can break in up here to provide a longer over-the-top pass up here to the 3-point line from 4. But let's undo that and assume that 4 is able to get the ball into 1. This is what we hope happens. Once 4 passes it to 1, then 2 is going to cut this direction to the middle of the court. And 1's going to look to pass the ball to him. And now once we get the ball there, 2's going to dribble it up the middle of the court. 1's going to follow along behind him. In case he gets trapped or stuck, he'll have somebody to pass it back to. 5 and 3 are going to run on down to the goal to look for a layup. And 2 should be looking to pass the ball to one of them. And then 4 is going to follow along behind over here on this side. So here we can see this happen. 1's going to follow behind. 2's going to dribble the ball up. 3 and 5 go on down, and 4 is following 2. Now, one thing to keep in mind, once we pass half court, you can't pass the ball back over half court. So in this example where we are right here, if 2 was stuck, he couldn't pass the ball back to 1 on the other side of half court. He's got to wait until 1 crosses half court and then pass the ball to him. Or he can pass it to any of these other players that are on the same side of half court as him. So that's our play for breaking the press. Let's talk about, again, if we're shooting at this goal, the ball goes out of bounds, we get it back. Our inbound play for on the same side of the court where we're going to try to score. This is very much like our press break play. So 4 is going to take the ball out. You guys don't have to remember a whole lot different from the press. We're going to start the alignment. Again, 3 is on the free throw line, same side as the ball. 1 in the middle, 2 on the free throw line, opposite side of the ball. One difference here in the setup is that instead of 5 being way back here long like we are in the press break, 5 is going to come up here and line up right behind 1. This starts the same way as the press break, so 3 is going to screen on 1's defender, and 1's going to break out over here looking to be open, so 4 is going to look to get the ball to him. After 3 sets the screen, instead of going long back over the opposite side as he would in the press break, he's going to pop out over here on the same side as the ball to the wing, just behind 1. So he sets a screen for 1 and pops out over here. 2 is going to do the same thing. If 1 can't get the ball as he does in the press break, he's going to break toward the ball. But this time, we're looking to get him the ball so that he can shoot it immediately. Get it here and shoot. If he can't get the ball, don't just wait here. So you'll run down, look to see if you're not open, you can't get the ball. You then quickly run back up here and screen on the defender of 5. And then we've got 5 that breaks to the goal. So 2's job is to, if we can't get it to 1, he's going to wait a second, see if 1's open. If not, he's going to break to the goal. If he's not open, he runs up, screens on 5's defender, and then 5 breaks to the goal. And 4 is going to look to hit him with a pass. Now let's assume, and hopefully it's the case, that 4 can get the ball into 1. And what's going to happen is 5's going to exit out of the lane over there. 4 is going to immediately step in. So after passing it, go to the goal under here, and 1 can look to see if 4 is open, coming right back under the goal. Or we can set up to run a play. Now let's talk about defense for just a second. Of course, we can play man-to-man defense, and you guys will be doing that a lot, where you just pick up a man and you guard him everywhere that he goes, and you look and try to anticipate passes to your man so that you can intercept them and everything. So that's man-to-man defense. We can play a zone defense also, which and what we're calling Wichita here. And what we're going to set up with is 1 and 2 are up top, out at the wing positions. 5 is here kind of free throw line-ish down in the lane. And then 3 and 4 are further back on the baseline. This is our starting setup. As the ball comes down the court, so there's invisible offensive players in this video, but assume that the ball comes to here, 1 and 2 have to stop the ball so that the guy doesn't just dribble it right on in. So they're going to come in, stop the ball, make him pass it out to a wing. If it comes out to the side over here, 1 has the ball. 5's going to rotate over this way. 4's going to pull into the lane, and 2's watching in the middle. If the ball went to the opposite side, 2 would be the defender, and 5 would slide over here. 3 would slide into the middle of the lane, and 1 would have the middle of the court up here. But again, coming to the side of the court, this is how we're set up. Now what we're going to do, again, when we're on defense, we want the ball to come to these baseline areas down here in this corner. For the same reason we don't want it to go there very often when we're on offense, because the offensive player is limited. He can't go this direction or this direction because of the out of bounds. So what we're going to do is trap down here. We're going to double team this player. So if the ball goes down there, 3's going to pick up this guy, but 1's going to follow the ball, and we've got 1 and 3 double teaming. Now 5 has to slide on down, and 4 has to come on over across a little bit more to watch for anyone running through here. So this guy should be kind of stressed out because he's got 2 defenders on him. He can't go this direction, he'll run out of bounds. He can't go this direction, he'll run out of bounds. He's going to be looking for somebody to pass the ball to, which will either be somebody more than likely running to the goal, which 4 and 5 have to guard, or he's going to look to pass it back up to the wing up here, and 2 can try to anticipate that pass and try to steal it. If he is able to get it back up to the wing, then we go back to the set that we were before. 1 follows the ball back up here, 2 is watching the middle, 3 drops back to here, 5 slides up. So 5's just kind of staying aligned with the ball wherever it goes around the lane. So that's the zone. Now let's talk a little bit about our press when we're pressing the other team. So again, we can do full court man-to-man, where you just pick up a man and you guard him full court everywhere he goes. But what we can do is a full court man-to-man with a safety, we'll call it. And we're going to take our 4 player and put him back here at mid-court. The 1, 2, 3, and 5 guys are going to pick up players down here and guard them man-to-man. We leave the inbounder unguarded, so he's not going to have anybody guarding him. These guys are going to pick up whoever's trying to get the ball down here. And 4 is going to watch for anyone going long, so 4 doesn't let anybody get behind him back here. He's going to prevent the long pass and an easy layup. And these guys are the ones trying to steal the pass and really keep the pressure on them down here. So that's man-to-man with a safety. Everybody except 4 is playing man-to-man. 4 is kind of watching this whole back half of the court here, and he's got a big zone to cover. All right, now we can do a zone press, and we're going to work on this after the Christmas break a little bit. And what we do with the zone press is we're going to put 3 guarding the inbounder. We're going to have 1 and 2 up here to guard the guards that they're going to be trying to pass the ball into. 4 does the same thing as he did with the safety. He's going to watch the middle of the court. But we're also going to put 5 back to help guard against any easy layups if they're really getting the ball down the court quickly. 5's going to be back here to help. So what's going to happen is, 1, that we're designating the strong side of the court and the weak side of the court. The strong side is on the same side as where the ball is being taken out. The weak side is on the opposite side of the goal from where the ball is being taken out. So in this example, the strong side's here, the weak side's over here. 1 is going to pick up an offensive player on the strong side and try to defend them. 2 is going to be responsible for guarding whoever they're trying to get the ball into on the weak side. Once they get the ball inbounds, if they get the ball inbound on the strong side, 1 and 3 are going to double team whoever they throw the ball into. If they throw the ball into the weak side, 2 and 3 are going to double team whoever it is. So 3 is going to guard the inbounder. Once he throws it in, he's then immediately going to go and double team whoever gets the ball. So let's watch one example of this, and this is the last example on this video. So I'm showing a red team here that we're playing against, and this is what a lot of teams will do with the zone. They're going to try to spread us long. They're going to send some guy long back here that 5's going to have to watch. They're going to put a guy down here that 4's going to have to watch. And they're going to have a couple guys down here for this guy to try to inbound the ball to. So in this example, if 1 may break out here and 2 kind of breaks over there. This is similar to what we do in our press break on the offensive side. So what's going to happen is 1's going to follow the guy on the strong side. He's going to pick up this 1 player and start defending him and making it difficult for 4 to inbound the ball to him. 2's going to pick up this guy that goes over here and try to make it difficult for 4 to get the ball into him. Now 4 may, if we can't get the ball into these 2 players, the 1 or 2 players, he may try to throw it long down here. And if he does that, 4 should be watching and try to go intercept that pass. But if he can't intercept it for some reason and the pass makes it down here, then 4 has to break behind back here and defend this guy. Pick him up and keep him from just running down for an easy layup. So you immediately start putting pressure on him. Now let's undo that and assume that they don't throw it over, and what if they're able to get it in to this guy, to 1? So they pass it in here. Well, 3's going to double team him. And we're going to try to not let him just dribble the ball up the sideline here. So 1's going to kind of defend him, be in front of him, between him and their goal that they're trying to run to here, to prevent him from going down the court. And 3's going to help and defend him, and we're trying to get him to pick up his dribble and make him have to pass the ball. Once he passes the ball, if he tries to pass it to 2, we've got our 2 player guarding 2 to try to intercept that pass. If he tries to pass up here to 5, 4 should slide over and help here. If he throws it back to their 4 guy, then 3 will come right back and defend 4. But they'll still be all the way down the court here. They'll still only have the ball here in time. They've got 10 seconds to get the ball over the court, so we can keep pressuring them and making it difficult for them to get the ball over the court. So that's our zone press. That's the end of this video. I hope you guys can watch this a few times over the Christmas break, and keep in mind, remember the plays that we're running and what we're trying to do on defense as well. And I hope you guys have a great Christmas break, and I'll see you after that. We'll be back to basketball. Thanks. Bye.